Good morning, good evening, and every time in between. You're listening to Vintage Noir. If you're into the true, the weird, the freaky, and the creepy, welcome home. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe or follow, depending on whichever platform you're using. It really does help with the YouTube and Spotify algorithm. Alright, let's get into today's topic. Another day. Imagine you are on your way to work. You get up, get yourself ready, and drive to work. You get out and walk into your job at the airport. You then grab your bitted schedule and notice that you're heading for Seattle, Washington. Great, nothing seems out of the ordinary. You grab a coffee and head towards the plane. A little while later, you're welcoming guests onto the plane, and pretty soon you're walking down the aisle, making sure everyone's seatbelt is fastened. The plane takes off, and you wait until cruising altitude to get up and ask your passengers if they would like anything to drink and or eat. You eventually reach aisle seat 18C. Before you sits a nondescript, middle-aged man with a business suit on and a briefcase. You ask him if he wants anything, and he asks for 7-Up and bourbon. This is what a flight attendant on November 24th, 1971, on their way to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, or SeaTac for short, via Flight 305 would have experienced. Introducing Dan Cooper. Behind him in the jump seat sits Florence Schaffner. He slips her a note, and assuming he's flirting, she places the unopened note in her purse. Puzzled and annoyed by this, the man then asserts, "Ma'am, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner quickly opens the note and it reads, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase and I want you to sit by me." Schaffner sits next to the man and requests to see the bomb. He opens up the briefcase he boarded with to expose 2 rows of 4 red cylinders that she assumed was dynamite. Cooper then closed the briefcase and told Schaffner his demands. She wrote a note with Cooper's demands, brought it to the cockpit, and informed the flight crew of the situation brewing in the back. Captain Scott, one of the pilots, directed her to remain in the cockpit for the rest of the flight and take notes of the events as they unfolded. He then contacted Northwest Flight Operations in Minnesota and relayed the hijackers' demands. Cooper requested $200,000 in a knapsack by 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He wants 2 front parachutes, 2 back parachutes. He wants the money in negotiable American currency. By requesting 2 sets of parachutes, Cooper implied that he planned to take a hostage with him to discourage authorities from supplying non-working equipment. With Schaffner in the cockpit, Flight Attendant Mucklow sat next to Cooper to act as a liaison between him and the flight crew in the cockpit. He then made additional demands. Upon landing in Seattle, the fuel trucks must meet the plane and all passengers must stay seated while she brought the money aboard. He said he would release the passengers after he had the money. The last items brought aboard would be the 4 parachutes requested. Securing the bag. The $200,000 ransom was received from Seattle First National Bank in a bag weighing about 19 pounds. The money, 10,000 unmarked $20 bills, most of which had serial numbers beginning with L, indicating issuance by the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, was photographed on microfilm by the FBI. This was used to possibly identify the bills if used elsewhere. Cooper did not specify the denomination of the bills. If he had requested $100 bills, for instance, the bag would have been much lighter and easier to jump with. As for the parachutes, Seattle police got the front 2 parachutes, or the reserves, from a local skydiving school, and the back 2, or main parachutes, from a local stunt pilot. Once Cooper received all that he had requested, he agreed to release the passengers. After an issue with the refueling process, which frustrated the hijacker, Cooper gave the flight crew directives to fly slowly over Mexico City. They informed Cooper that they would need to refuel, as the plane would not be able to make a non-stop flight. Together, they decided to plan a stop and refuel at Reno Tahoe International Airport. The most stressful trip. At about 7:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the hijacked flight returned into the night skies, but this time tailed by 2 F-106 fighter jets who stayed back just far enough to be out of Cooper's sights. After a few minutes, Cooper ordered Mucklow to lower the staircase in the back of the plane. Worried that she would be sucked out of the plane once this happened, Mucklow made her concerns known. After a bit of back and forth, Cooper eventually decided to lower the stairs himself. He then commanded Mucklow to go to the cockpit and close the curtains. She begged Cooper to take the bomb with him. He confirmed to her that he would take the bombs or disarm them. After she was in the front around 8 p.m., the warning light indicating that the back stairs had been lowered started to flash. The pilot asked over the intercom if Cooper needed help. His final response was simply a no. And with that, the whole harrowing situation was over. However, the front crew had no idea whether or not Cooper had jumped. They called out to him over the intercom multiple times to no answer. Around 11 p.m., the crew landed in the Reno Tahoe International Airport with every type of law enforcement you could imagine awaiting the flight. At this point, no one approached the plane due to being unsure if the bombs were still active and on board. The captain of the flight searched the plane to check if Cooper was still on board. After about 30 minutes and a thorough search of the plane was finally deemed safe by the FBI bomb squad, and thus ended the hijacking of D.B. Cooper. A frantic search. In addition to 66 latent fingerprints aboard the airliner, FBI agents recovered Cooper's black clip-on tie clip, and 2 of the 4 parachutes, one of which had been opened and had 3 shroud lines cut from the canopy. This is thought to be the one that Cooper cut up and used to tie the money bags to his body. FBI agents then interviewed eyewitnesses in Portland, Seattle, and Reno, and developed a series of composite sketches. Local police and FBI agents immediately began questioning possible suspects. Acting on the possibility the hijacker may have used his real name or the same alias in a previous crime, Portland police discovered and interviewed a Portland citizen named D.B. Cooper. The Portland Cooper had a minor police record, but was quickly eliminated as a suspect. In his rush to meet a deadline, reporter James Long confused the man with the name used by the hijacker. United Press International wire service reporter Clyde Jobin republished Long's error, and as the media sources repeated the error, the hijacker's pseudonym became the infamous D.B. Cooper. During the first year of the investigation, the FBI used eyewitness testimonies from the passengers and flight crew to help develop sketches of Cooper. The first sketch, officially titled Composite A, was completed a few days after the hijacking and was released on November 28, 1971. According to witnesses, the composite sketch A, jokingly known as Bing Crosby, was not an accurate likeness of Cooper. The composite A sketch, said witnesses, showed a young man with a narrow face and did not look like Cooper or capture his disinterested, "let's get this over with" expression. Flight attendant Florence Schaffner repeatedly told the FBI the composite sketch A bore a very poor likeness of Cooper. After multiple eyewitnesses said composite A was not an accurate rendering, FBI artists developed a second composite drawing. Completed in 1972, the second composite B sketch was intended to more accurately depict Cooper's age, skin tone, and face shape. Eyewitnesses to whom composite B was shown said the sketch was more accurate, but the composite B Cooper looked too angry or nasty. One flight attendant said the composite B sketch looked like a hoodlum and remembered Cooper as being more refined in appearance. Also said witnesses, the composite B sketch depicted an older man than Cooper, with a lighter complexion. Using the criticisms of composite B, FBI artists made adjustments and improvements to the composite B sketch. On January 2, 1973, the FBI finalized the revised version of composite B, their third sketch of Cooper. With the final revised sketch completed, one flight attendant said revised composite B was a very close resemblance to the hijacker. Opined another flight attendant, the hijacker would easily be recognized from this sketch. A profile: the man, the myth, the legend. Multiple witnesses described Cooper as being intelligent, calm, and debonair. Physically, he was described as being a dark-toned man, even with one witness suggesting that he could be of Mexican-American or Native American descent, which is interesting because he did originally want to be dropped off in Mexico City. He was also fit for his age and did not appear to be a heavy drinker. He did order alcohol, but a witness stated that his drink spilled and that he did not attempt to order another one. He was a smoker and was profiled to smoke about a pack of cigarettes a day. Most of the witnesses say that he was about 5'9" to 5'10" and 170 to 180 pounds, with male witnesses recalling that he was on the smaller side for a man. The FBI originally thought Cooper could have been a paratrooper in the past, but this was ruled out due to the rough and unfavorable conditions that he decided to jump in. Did he die, though? During the beginning of the FBI's investigation, they assumed that Cooper did not survive his jump due to there being very high 176-mile-per-hour winds that night, the fact that he jumped into a wooded area, and that it was raining. The FBI also did not think that he had the appropriate equipment to make a safe landing, like a helmet and jump boots. However, after a string of copycat crimes involving air piracy, they changed their opinion due to the other copycats all surviving their fall, and some with even less parachute knowledge than Cooper. Wrap up. There have been many suspects in the D.B. Cooper case, even with some deathbed confessions, yet no one has ever been definitively identified as the elusive Cooper. In 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram found some of the bills from the ransom money that D.B. Cooper jumped with that fateful night buried under a sandy riverbank near a beachfront known as Tina Bar in Washington State. The bundle of money was totaled $5,800. This was the only money recovered that has been related to the case. The top bills were pretty damaged due to being exposed to the elements, but the middle bills were in fairly decent shape and were able to be identified via their serial numbers as the money given to Cooper. Along with Cooper's tie and a couple of strands of hair, this is the only major evidence in the case. Today, we still have no idea who Cooper was, why he did what he did, and what happened to him that night when he jumped into the rainy abyss. Thanks so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm, and follow me on Spotify. Also, check out my new Instagram page called Vintage Noir Official for the latest news about the channel. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The True, The Weird, The Freaky, and The Creepy. Until next time.